it's K-Red. Join me on this channel as we find joy in pen and paper by creating simple drawings that anyone can do. As a police negotiator, I have learned the importance of reducing stress, and for me, that involves pen, paper, and simple patterns. Join me in a judgment-free environment to create calm from the chaos of this world and our mind. Let's get started. Can you see it? This one right here. It's very similar to what I just did. They did it with 4 lines and then they darkened in the rows. That's kind of neat. I like the way that looks. But the pattern I think I'd like to do next is this one right here, where they made a simple grid. They picked I don't know why I'm using my finger, circle, dark circle to start from, and then they just did the lines coming out to that. And the circles, some were different all the time. And I like that. So I think I'm going to do that. I think that's going to need a decent big area to do. So maybe I should do that here. I think so. So you can't see my papers. Where I'm working is right over here. And we're going to have to see if I like this zoomed in kind of process. I'm going to move this out a little bit so that you can see that better. I'm going to go grab a ruler real quick. So I went and I grabbed a ruler, a bright pink ruler. I have found that I not only have a love for pens, I have a love for rulers, and I like all different types of them. I'm going to grab my 8 pen. I need to decide how big I want it. So I think on those dots that I know you don't see well, and let's see, center in the paper a little bit better. I'm going to, I like it without the little, because it's got that felt on it so it doesn't make noise, but I like it to lay flatter. So I flip it over. And then what I'm doing is just having trouble seeing. Here we go. That feels wrong. I think it's okay. Making some simple boxes. The way I do it creates a small little circle, because I like to put my pin down, then my ruler next to it, and then draw the line, but putting the pin down makes that little dot. If that bothers you, don't do it this way, but it doesn't bother me. And let's see. We're going to go like this line here. Whoops, I did. Look what I did. I went out of my line. So that's going to get worked into that project somehow. That was a error. You know, it's amazing to me how you can make errors over and over again, yet still do it again. Kind of like life, huh? It's kind of like life. That's a pretty good, decent size error. Thankfully, this is pen and paper. And I sit there and remind myself of all the mistakes you've made in your life. This isn't a biggie. We all make mistakes. We all have to learn from them. So, I already know what I'm going to do in this section here, but because I've made the mistake in this section here, now ideally, if I hadn't already done this, that would be the perfect way to get rid of it. Let's do something like this. Let's continue with the ruled lines in this colored pen. But I'm going to go every dot so that it's thinner. And then I'm going to do a diagonal. And I'm lining it up with my square above. And then trying to hit those diagonal lines so that it works. So lining it up with the square above. And then trying to find the dots so that the angle is almost the same. And the reason I skipped to do one is I can just eye just to make sure. See how those are all different? We're going to be okay with that. And in fact, we're going to grow on it and make them all slightly different. I wonder where this is going to end up. We're going to have to see where exactly this ends up. Now we have all these little interesting shapes. I think it's going to be different enough than the one above it. On this one, we're doing the circles. I'm going to stick with that. So on this one, I need to do something completely different. I could do some lines like this that just intercede within them. And that could make an interesting little pattern. So let's do that. I switched to a number 1 pen because I want little lines. I want these to be small little waves. And I think I'm going to try to make them different every time. So I'll be moving my book some. And we're just doing those same arches, half circles, whatever you want to call them. Just like that. And then we'll do this one this way. I think I'm always going to do it from a corner though. I was thinking of starting in the middle, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to try to keep my arch the same. I'm going to try to keep my circles the same. I'm going to try to not start on the same way each time, so I'm going to try very hard to be able to alternate them. What I'd like to try and be careful of is to make it, you see how this one and that one's almost identical. I don't know, we're just gonna have to do the best we can. Let's start over here and see where we end up. I sit there and think of all the different things I've done. It's really funny. I always get a little philosophical when I do stuff like this. And I'll always sit there and think, gosh, you've made a lot of things in my life where I've done something and see where it ends up. And it ends up somewhere like I'd never imagined, good and bad. Some of the best things in life start off that way. And I would imagine some of the worst things do too. What I'll probably do when I'm done with this and this odd thing that ends up working from it is I'll probably go back and darken the bottom circles just like I did before. So this one's going that way, that one's going that way. So I think this one can go this way. I'm going to turn my paper though. I don't know if I'm in camera or not. I hope I am. Appear to be. Going this way. See if that's a little bit different. Although it's the exact same as that one. Let's go ahead and do one completely upside down over here. Turn my paper so I can go right to left, which is what feels comfortable today. that. Go ahead and let this one be right here. All right, I don't like that one as much. What I might do, in fact I'm going to because I don't like that at all, is just go through and put dark circles on every intersection. Take a look at this. Look at how wide these lines are and how thin these lines are. That is something that hopefully, when I do this consistently again for a year or two, after my, well, probably almost a couple year break, something that will hopefully improve a lot. And that will be something that I can look back on and say that I'm doing better on. Kind of gone in, kind of added a little bit of weight down here. Kind of wanted that to be a little thicker. So yeah, so that's how we fixed the mistake of this line right here.